Was the CEO of CoreWeave, joined us in the last hour, weighing in, of course, on that company's latest earnings. It is the outlook that perhaps has investors somewhat concerned. You heard his reference to one data center provider not meeting at least what was expected of them. Christina Partsinevelos has more for us, and, of course, that reaction that we're seeing with the stock down, Christina, 13.5%.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I was going to start, because shares were originally 9. Then he went on CNBC. You're seeing it down 13% in trading, despite beating third quarter estimates. The AI cloud provider cut its full year revenue guidance after what you just heard. A third party data center developer fell behind schedule on delivering what's called powered shells. So essentially that's data center buildings with power connected, but interiors that are unfinished. So just exactly what it sounds like, a shell. And this is pushing forth some fourth quarter revenue into next year of Q1. The company also cutting its Q4 CapEx guidance nearly in half, though that spending is also just shifting into Q1. CoreWeave wouldn't name the data center provider causing the delays, but analysts widely suspect it's Core Scientific. Some on the street are also connecting the dots, wondering if this is why Microsoft started diversifying to other neoclouds like Nebulous, why Azure recently missed expectations, and why a Microsoft CEO is now blaming shells as a constraint instead of GPUs. The bulls say look past the near-term noise for CoreWeave. Wedbush points to CoreWeave's backlog nearly doubling to $55.6 billion, and CapEx expected to jump over 100% next year as signs of demand just remain incredibly strong. But JP Morgan downgraded the stock to neutral this morning, saying supply chain pressures make forecasting just too difficult at this point. And as one other analyst put it, CoreWeave trades on vibes. Yeah, he did write vibes. And cutting guidance, no matter the reason, translates to the stock being down. So that's exactly what we're seeing play out this morning, guys. And then I just want to point out separately, AMD's Analyst Day is here at the NASDAQ up on the 10th floor. The stock is down, 1.5% right now, but still outpacing NVIDIA and SMH. Expect comments from Lisa Su on the update to the total addressable market for AI and AMD. We could see that hit $1 trillion, and more comments on their AI GPU rack rollouts. Guys?
Yeah, I mean, Christina, I guess that one of the key points Intrader making with us, of course, and has made with others, is there's no slowdown in demand, and they continue to be capacity constrained, I guess. I would also note Core Scientific shares are down 10%. As our viewers, I'm sure, recall, CoreWeave had a deal to acquire Core Scientific. It got voted down by Core Scientific shareholders who felt the price wasn't high enough. It might have given CoreWeave an opportunity, I'm curious to see your thoughts, to get Core Scientific more in line in terms of their builds and meeting the schedules of those builds.
Yeah, so to your point, this is the second failed attempt of CoreWeave trying to take over Core Scientific. This would have been great if they had been able to get Core Scientific, because then CoreWeave would have been the land lord, and they would have reduced their leases just over the last next decade or so. So that would have been a huge strength in terms of cost savings, and they wouldn't have to pay rent. To your point, though, with the shares down this dramatically with Core Scientific, I wonder what this means about the valuation. You know, it was turned down by just a few board members. So overall, though, CoreWeave will constantly talk about strong demand and how they sell out of Hopper, even the older chips. There was one point on the call that stood out, which runs counter to Michael Burry's comments about depreciation. CoreWeave's CEO did say that they even signed on a customer for an old Hopper chip at 95% of the original contract value, which shows that maybe it's still holding value despite the fact that so many GPU rental prices are continuing to fall, guys.
Yeah, Ben writes this, the analyst says it shows that CoreWeave might need to have more control over the data center capacity and engineering to make sure this is not an ongoing issue, so that they can have more of a sort of vertical integration. So speaking to what they might do next. Christina, thank you. We got to go. Thank you very much. Christina Partsinevelos at the NASDAQ.